Hooray! Data Science Nigeria marks 5 years of transformational impact. It has been 157,680,000 seconds of running an award-winning and high-impact artificial intelligence learning, research, solution delivery, consulting, and AI startup incubation network. Let us celebrate some of DSN's major milestones. Over 500,000 learners have benefited from the DSN's free online and offline training sessions in artificial intelligence, data science, and digital skill-related classes. The organization runs the most expansive network of AI learning delivery in Africa, with 41 physical learning communities in cities and on campuses. It also organizes annual Pan-Nigeria AI introductory classes across multiple cities through its AI Innovation Project. It currently has an online learners network in 49 countries across the world. Data Science Nigeria, through its founder, Bayo Adekombi, published the first AI book for kids in Africa. The book uses cartoon-like characters to demystify and simplify the basic concepts of AI and Python programming. The book is currently being distributed through a nationwide Train the Teachers program to ensure that every child has the foundational knowledge required to competitively prepare for the fourth industrial revolution and the future of work. The annual DSN All-Expense Paid Bootcamp has become the numero uno of AI learning in Africa. It brings together some of the best global experts who visit Nigeria physically or connect virtually to teach and mentor young African talents. Each AI bootcamp starts with thousands of participants, with only 400 best participants making it to this intensive learning session. The 2021 edition had learners from over 20 countries. Today, DSN has become the biggest talent recruitment pipeline to leading organizations in Nigeria, providing access to top talents who have been trained through DSN's intensive, hands-on, and industry-ready training modules. DSN has also validated its technical capability in the areas of consulting and solution delivery. It has successfully delivered over $6 million worth of professional service for leading global multinationals and development agencies like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, World Bank, MasterCard Foundation, Chevron Nigeria, AI Commons, KPMG, Access Bank, and so many others. DSN remains very strong in artificial intelligence research, with over 13 academic papers published and accepted at peer-reviewed conferences. The inspiring works of DSN have been showcased at all the world's leading AI conferences. From NeurIPS to ICML to ICLR to Deep Learning in DABA. DSN's work in AI for social good was a case study of excellence at the foremost conference of the Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence held in New York, USA in 2020, where the founder of DSN spoke as a keynote speaker. DSN AI Lab in Lagos is generously supported with research robots from the Computer Science Department of the University College London, complemented with a world-class research workstation donated by NVIDIA. DSN is proud to have won the academic poster at the 21st edition of the ACM Conference on Economics and Computation, EC20, the world's premier conference on the interface of economics and computer science, organized by the Association for Computing Machinery, United States. DSN also won the Best Runner-Up Poster Award at the Deep in DABA in 2019, Africa's foremost AI conference, where the effort of Data Science Nigeria was also recognized with the prestigious Wangari Maathai Impact Award. DSN's work has been acknowledged across the world as a best practice in talent building, indigenous application of AI, community development at scale, early education in AI, and AI for social good. Its work has been reviewed and referenced by the World Economic Forum, UNESCO Science Reports 2020, UNICEF Reports, African Union, Data.org, and many others. DSN was the only African finalist at the X Prize Algorithm for COVID Prediction competition. DSN was also part of the National COVID Intervention Team on the use of advanced epidemiological machine learning algorithms to flatten the curve. DSN runs a startup incubation center dedicated to artificial intelligence with a current cohort of 12 startups at its new center in Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. DSN has transited from the generic theory of AI into practical solution development with a focus on how to apply AI at scale in emerging markets. During the COVID-19 lockdown, which created a major learning disruption to many students in Nigeria, DSN invented an adaptive artificial intelligence learning algorithm, which was leveraged to deliver effective and interactive learning through basic SMS, feature phones on 2G network, and interactive radio platforms. This effort helped many learners who have no access to the internet or smartphones. Over 8 million learners benefited from this intervention through the funding support of the MasterCard Foundation. DSN has been a revolution with many firsts of its kinds, like the AI Summer School for Kids, Inter-University Machine Learning Competition, AI hackathons for top organizations, data scientists on demand, AI tutors on demand for primary and secondary schools, AI knowledge box of 20,000 learning videos, free AI for beginners free ebook, and its current effort to set up AI libraries at all the top Nigerian universities. As DSN marks its 5th anniversary, it is making some big, bold transition under its 5 Perfect Transition mandate to re-strategize for the future. The organization is recalibrating its vision and mission with focus on enabling 1 million AI talents in Africa and building AI solutions that will enhance the quality of lives and well-being of people living in emerging markets. It is a double-fold impact transition. Let us reflect on these big 5 shifts. Number 1. DSN is transiting into a global operation beyond Nigeria under the DSN brand name, that is Data Scientist Network, with an existing learners network in almost 50 nations. DSN has become a global knowledge delivery network for the world. All its local and global extensions will now answer the DSN brand name. Number 2. DSN will run a dual business model as a social enterprise with DSN Foundation Nonprofit and DSN AI Innovations Limited, both in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom. This effort will position DSN for sustainability. Number 3. DSN is also changing its consulting model by becoming a distributed talent company. It will run a globally diverse network of expert consultants and partner companies who will collaboratively work with DSN full-time in-house staff to deliver world-class solutions under its new partnership program. Number 4. DSN is launching its learning network with more frequent online masterclasses, project walkthrough sessions, hands-on expert research sessions, and mentoring. These will be facilitated by some of the world's best experts. This expanded learning will also include dedicated programs for professionals, kids, researchers, and developers. Number 5. DSN AI Innovation will be unveiling Spot On, its geospatial AI precision analytics solution for retail and fintech, and ULearn, its AI-powered augmented learning platform that activates learning for every child. DSN is currently building more high-impact products in health, financial inclusion, agriculture, and others. It is a new season at Data Scientist Network, DSN. As DSN unveils its new logo to reflect its global positioning and expansion beyond Nigeria, the organization remains very committed to delivering high-impact AI solutions across the world while expanding its free training and research network across many countries. Welcome to the future with DSN, powering 1 million AI talents and delivering transformational AI solutions for 2 billion people in emerging markets. The 5th DSN anniversary.
The International Research Center on Artificial Intelligence was founded under the auspices of UNESCO. IRCAI has started a top 100 study to unearth the amazing work being done by AI colleagues everywhere.
And who are mobilizing their diverse skills to make the most of artificial intelligence by ensuring it serves the common good.
For the key challenges of our age, as captured in the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations.
We are so excited to have you all joining the call today. We are happy to have you joining from all across the world. Please use the live chat to introduce yourselves. Let's know where you are joining from, your expectations from the session, what you are hoping to learn, and we are set for an amazing journey in business analytics today. Wonderful. So let's get to know DSN. DSN is committed to raising 1 million AI talents and building AI solutions that improve the quality of life and well-being of 2 billion people in emerging markets. Originally, we were just at the 1 million AI talents, building this in 10 years, but now we are expanding as we have in our recent transition to now focus as well on building products and solutions that improve the quality of life of 2 billion people in emerging markets. That's big. And we are only able to do this due to our large and thanks to our large and amazing community. Our renewed focus will see us delivering on this vision through community for learning and research, which is everyone on this call, and which is why we have these kind of sessions, product development for social impact, and partnerships for solution delivery. Our evolution from 2016 to 2021 has seen us grow from a learning and community-based to also research and social good applications, corporate support and solution deployment, startups, ventures, AI vertical partnerships, AI for national development. In 2019, we were recognized as the #1 artificial intelligence learning community and solution delivery network in Africa, where at the Deep Learning in Durban conference in 2019, we won the Mathai Impact Award. We also won the Best Academic Poster at the 21st edition of the Global Economic and Competition Conference, despite not being an academic institution. This was a really big one for DSN. We were also the only African finalist at the 2021 X Prize competition on building advanced AI algorithms to address COVID-19. How amazing is that? At different foremost leading big world-class AI conferences, DSN research has been showcased, presented, and celebrated. We have snapshots here from Triple AI, from NeurIPS, different conferences where the work of DSN has actually been showcased. We also released the first artificial intelligence and Python book for elementary students and beginners in Africa. If you need this book, you want to get it for a younger one, for a child, a word, a friend, please feel free to use any of these links being dropped in on the live chat and right here on the screen. Our new AI research lab is open here in Yaba, Lagos. And recently, 2 of our products, initiated, conceptualized, and developed all by DSN, were selected in the 2021 Global Top 100 AI Products by UNESCO. Yes, selected are the EdTech AI Adaptive Learning Engine, as well as Prescribe Right. This is our dual business model for global impact through DSN AI Innovations, where we build cross-country AI learning and research communities and solutions. You see us doing this in career tech, fintech, retail tech, edtech, platform tech, and health tech. Here are the amazing startups that scale through our AI incubation program. We are really amazed and so excited for all these startups in the first cohort. So if you are interested, the link is being dropped in the chat and you need to share this with someone that needs it. It's www.datasciencenigeria.org/AI startup. Here is our world-class advisory board headed by Dr. Uyi Stewart, who is the chairman of the board of directors. We are so humbled to have these amazing people on our advisory board. So let's get to it. Today we have our amazing mentor who will be taking us on business analytics and use cases. Meet Dr. Ibukun Afolabi. She's a senior lecturer and data scientist. Okay, I'm going to go through her profile. Dr. Afolabi Ibukun is a data scientist and is currently a senior lecturer in the Department of Computer and Information Sciences, Covenant University. She holds a BSc in engineering physics, wow, and an MSc in computer, and finally a PhD in computer science, which was obtained in 2012. Afolabi Ibukun has over 15 years working experience in computer science research, teaching and mentoring. Her specific areas of interest are data and text mining, programming, and business analytics. She has a lot of experience and there is so much that she is going to be teaching us today, and I hope you are all excited for this. She has supervised several undergraduate and postgraduate students in computer science research and published over 40 articles in international high-impact journals and conferences indexed in Scopus and Web of Science. People from her wealth of knowledge in data analytics and business intelligence. She currently runs a business analytics consulting and training firm named I&F Network Solutions. And from all this, she will be giving us amazing insights and teaching us on how we can take data, transform it into amazing insights for business in today's session. And I think also really important, she is a DSN mentor. I think that's a big one. She is a DSN mentor. So for all our community members, especially our ladies in AI, I'm sure you are very much familiar with Dr. Ibukun, and she was also on our panel for the last AI bootcamp. So people, please join me to make welcome Dr. Afolabi Ibukun. Celebrate on the chat, drop your excitement. Let's see how excited you are. Drop your favorite emojis. Let's clap as she takes the session.
Welcome to this short training on business analytics use case, and we'll look at part 1, Afolabi Ibukun. For the outline, we look at business analytics just to lay a good foundation for what we want to talk about today. And then we'll look at the types of business analytics problem, and we'll pick a typical business problem. So business analytics. You know, you refer to business analytics as the practice and act of bringing quantitative data to bear whenever you're making decisions, and it's popularly, referred to sometimes as data science for business. So what's data science for business? Data science, is the ability to be able to take data, understand it, process it. You want to extract value from it, visualize that data and communicate it, to the stakeholders such that they're able to make valuable decisions. I think it's good for us to talk about the business analytics life cycle. So whatever we're even doing today, we will see where it fits into the big picture. So where do we start from? Well, it's sometimes referred to as information action value chain. So where do we start from? We actually start from real world events and characteristics. Okay, maybe a person, you're trying to store data or information about a particular person, an object, and then actions, you know, characteristics. So it's from whatever happens in the real world. That's where we get our data from. So that's the starting point. And you know, when you have your real world events, the next thing you want to be asking is question. That's when you start your analytics project. Is question. You want to know what problem you want to solve. What is the direction of this analytics project? And in asking the questions, you also want to, you know, think about the expected outputs, the results that you're supposed to get from this, your analytics project. So these results, you know, is targeted towards making what kind of decision. So you need to highlight these things by the time you start your analytics project. And it's always very good because every business analytics project, you know, has a domain. So you need domain knowledge to be able to add value with your analytics results. So you need to have like a conceptual business design, okay, of that business environment, so that you will even understand where the data is coming from, you know, is it complete, and so on and so forth. So for a good business analytics project, you need to be able to have a conceptual business model so that you can understand the business data and how the data, the business actually works. Because you want to improve the business, you need to know how the business works. So the next thing is to capture the data. So in order to capture the data, you want to look at how are you going to bring this data? How are you going to, you know, present this data for analytics? So there's some situations whereby you probably want to do some feature representation. You want to know what are the sources of this data, and are they actually relevant to the problem that you want to solve? So that is that stage. And then what if the data is not in a particular location? You need to be able to bring it together and have an holistic view to analyzing that particular data. So the stage after that is when you now extract this data for analytics. So when you make the data to be analytics ready. So in this stage, what exactly are you going to be doing? You are going to be looking at random sampling, sometimes pulling data together from different databases, cleaning the data, pre-processing the data, visualizing the data, partitioning the data. And these are major things that we do in our data, you know, pre-processing or extracting data for analysis. So you want to make sure that all these tasks that you're also doing, they are directed towards the analytics goal. Okay, for example, if you're doing a prediction task, there are certain kind of visualizations that you want to do towards that prediction task. So the next thing that you also want to do is to move to the analytics proper. And for that, we have three major types of analytics. We have descriptive analytics, and the descriptive analytics helps us to describe what things look like now and what happened in the past. For example, you want to ask questions like what kind of customers are renting our equipment. And then for predictive analytics, you want to take what happened in the past and predict what will happen in the future. And for that, you probably want to ask questions like, who will rent our equipment in the future? And for predictive analytics, that one helps you to link analysis to decision making by providing recommendation on what to do. And an example of question that you want to ask there is, what customers should we target? So you're prescribing there. And each of them actually have their own kind of tools or techniques that is used. Well, in between descriptive analytics and predictive analytics, we usually have what we call diagnostic analytics. And it's very important because sometimes when you do descriptive analytics, it exposes a lot of questions. And you want to do a diagnostic analysis to find out why those things, you know, are. Now, the next stage is to summarize your results. And you have done your modeling, you You want to summarize and interpret your results to the stakeholders. And it is very important at this stage that when you're doing that, you factor in context, the business context, the business domain, and then you use charts to do this, charts, graphs, and so on and so forth. And of course, when you're presenting your charts, you need to make it simple, communicate, you know, the information that you want to communicate. It should not be too busy and confusing. And at the same time, maybe you want to use color combinations that make sense, that doesn't distract, and so on and so forth. Then you want to make sure that the question that you set out to answer in the first stage of the analytics has actually been answered. And you want to tell a story towards the answer that you have been able to provide using your analytics. And finally, businesses is about, you know, making profits, return on investment. So you want to be able to tie whatever result that you have done to return on investment for that particular business. And you can do this by actually linking it with the KPIs and the metrics that you set out to use to explore your analytics project in the first place. Then you're set to deliver your speech. Of course, presentation skills is apt. You don't want to present a slide that has errors. It will doubt the result of your analysis. All the hard work that you have been doing will be doubted. So you want to make sure that it's error-free. And then you also want to learn how to talk, how to communicate and connect with your audience. And of course, after delivering the pitch, then the company has to take actions, you know, based on the recommendation. And of course, I should say here that analytics project is iterative. You don't just want to do something once and that is all. You probably want to get feedbacks and go back to rework whatever model you did and then see whether it's giving you the results. So I think it's also good here to talk about the analytics tools. Okay, so we have several of them out there, but we use Tableau for this short training. So what are examples of data-informed successes? So we have several. I just selected just a few. For example, the Coca-Cola, they are able to align with customers' interests and demands using data. Amazon, for example, knows you so well, and you wonder why. Data is why. So for Facebook, for example, they are able to target very specific ads to millions of people. We're talking of targeting, we're talking of millions of people. That's a lot of leverage. So, and then for Nissan, for example, they're able to customize their advertising campaign to the needs of the region instead of just targeting the whole country and continent. And that gives them a lot of, you know, profit margin. So those are some of the success stories. We have millions out there. I don't know whether they're up to millions, but we have a lot out there actually. So types of business problem that we might want to explore in our business analytics. There are several types, okay, depending on the situation at hand. So you have questions that you want to ask. How does promotion impact on sales? And then I tried to see if I could, you know, put the techniques that is usually used to explore this kind of questions. So who buys our products on promotions and so on and so forth. So for this, you probably want to use descriptive analytics, visualization in particular. What type of display works, whether it's an online store or an offline store, what kind of display works. So you probably want to try association rule for that and so on and so forth. So we have quite a number of them, okay? Forecasting, okay? Predicting, you know, sales from cross-selling products, historical information, and so on and so forth. And then we even have more trending ones, okay, using network analysis to be able to discover the most influential staff, okay, the most influential customer, and so on. There are just a lot out there. So now let's go to our practical business problem. For the practical business problem, the technique that we're going to use for this short training is just descriptive analytics. And let's try and describe that business that we are interested in. But before we do that, let's just quickly talk about descriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics helps you to be able to link markets to the firm through information. And you know, this information, you can use it to make actionable decisions. So it has to do with systematically collecting and interpreting data to help you to make decisions. Now, there are three types. We have the exploratory research. For that, it's centered around ambiguous problem. For example, you want to ask questions like, our sales are declining, why? So you want to find out why. So for the what, for the descriptive research, sorry, the second category, we have answering the question, what? For example, what kind of people are buying our goods? So it's a kind of research that makes you aware of a particular problem. And the third one is the causal research, and is such that the problems, are clearly defined. You want to answer questions like, will buyers purchase more of our products with a change of our store arrangement? So that's a clearly defined problem, and then you now want to investigate why that is so. So let's quickly look at some of the tools that we use for this descriptive analytics. We have the bar chart here, very popular. What do we do with the bar charts? Depending on the task at hand, whether it's predictive, descriptive, and so on and so forth, there are things that you want to use your bar charts to check out. For example, you want to check for unexpected patterns in your results. You want to check uneven distributions. Okay, you want to check for extra categories. Okay, you have a male and female category in a particular attribute called sex, and then you're having another category called F. Okay, so you will see that the data entry, so usually we use it to also discover some challenges in the way the data has been entered. And then you also have, maybe you have an extra category that you're not supposed to have, and then large number of categories, then you decide, am I going to bring them together, and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to pick them very quickly. We have the histogram. So for the histogram, we use it to group data into intervals. So you want to be able to, particularly when we are trying to visualize data for prediction, okay, so you want to show the empirical distribution. You want to understand the center of the data, for example, and then you want to also identify the shape of the distribution. This is particularly important for predictive analytics because you want to make sure that it's skewed, and it's not skewed to the right or the left. In that case, you might probably need some transformation or the other. So for the line graph, okay, the line graph helps us to track changes over a short or long period of time. And for example, when you want to do that, you probably want to use that, you want to track changes over a period of time. You want to use your bar chart, you want to use your line graph, instead of your bar, graphs. So it helps us to also compare changes over some period, over the same period. So we have our box plots. For our box plot, we can discover some things from our box plot, the minimum, the first quartile, the median, maximum, and so on and so forth. And I also want you to understand that this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are a lot of things that we can do with these tools. So scatter plots. When we have the scatter plots, what are the things that we can use the scatter plots to do? Okay, we can use it to discover causal relationship, associations, outliers, clusters, gaps, barriers, conditional relationship, and so on. Bubble charts. Bubble charts. What do we use bubble charts to do? We use it to display clusters, data clusters. You have a particular categorical attributes, and then you have another numerical attribute. So you can use the categorical attribute to display, the dimensions, and then you can use your numerical attribute to display the size of these dimensions, and so on and so forth. So we'll look at an example in the practical section. So we can use tree maps. The same thing we did with bubble, charts, we can also do with tree maps. And of course, instead of the circle this time around, it's in boxes. Then we have our heat maps. So our heat maps can help us to discover missing data, and then correlation, and so on. Graphical maps. There are some visualization, okay, that you want to do with maps because it helps you to get a better, it helps you to relate to that data better, and there are some inferences that you discover, okay, when you use map. It's better when you use map compared to maybe like a bar chart, and so on and so forth. So those are the tools that are particularly related to the practical that we're going to do. There's some other tools too, but let's just stop at that. Practical business problem 1. So that's what we want to look at now. And for that, we are going to look at an e-commerce business and what is the goal, okay, of this problem, of this practical business problem. So it's an e-commerce company, and they want to use descriptive analytics to actually understand what happened in the past, particularly as regards profit, okay, which is probably one of the metrics, okay, that they are particular about in that organization. They want to know what's happening with their profits over some time or generally, and so on and so forth. So for the data in question, that's the Superstore data customized, to Nigeria, particularly for the purpose of demonstration and for this class. So these are some of the attributes that we have in that data. This is what the data looks like in Excel. I believe the data has been sent already. So what are the questions that we want to investigate vis-a-vis the goal that we set out, which I just mentioned earlier, to understand what's happening with their profit? So these are some of the questions. We could have more questions, but I just selected just 5 for us to explore for this, seemingly, small business problem. So we want to look at the sum of sales for each category and how does this relate with profit and so on and so forth. So as we, I'm going to move over to Tableau. So as we pick each of the questions, we'll try and solve it, and then we'll conclude with a dashboard that actually tells the story of what has been happening with the profit. Okay, so I'm going to do a new share. I'm going to go over to Tableau. So I just want to start from the beginning so that we can all follow. So the very first thing that we want to do is to import our data. I've already imported the data, but in case you have not imported the data, all you have to do is just to, you have an interface that will ask you whether it's Excel or CSV that you want to bring in. So as soon as you import that data, this is the interface that you're going to land in. And of course, you can find different types of tutorial videos online that can help you to install the Tableau. So we're using the Tableau public for this demonstration. So I've imported the data, is right here, that's Superstore Nigeria. Now, the next thing we want to do is create sheets to be able to answer each of those questions that we started with earlier. So for the first question, I'm going to create a sheet, and I'm going to title that sheet Sales, subcategory, sales subcategory. Okay, sorry, that is subcategory, and profits. Okay, you can see that the title automatically appears, on the head of the, that's the heading, as the heading of the sheet. So we can see the sheet right here, the naming of the sheet right here. So what's the question? What's the sum of sales for each subcategory, and how does this relate with profit? That is, we are saying that which subcategory has the highest profit or the lowest profit. So to do that, we are just going to make sure that under our analysis, we have aggregate selected. So if yours is not selected, you probably just want to select it. And that will help you to have, for each of these measures, you have the total. Because let me just quickly say 1 or 2 things about this interface. For time, I'll not go into everything, but this is a section that has the categorical attributes, and sometimes you have your geographical, kind of attributes there. So when you have something like this, that's showing that is a locational data. And then this side of the data has, it has the measures, that's numeric attributes. You can also see that this is automatically generated for us, longitude and latitude, just because we have a data that has location, you know, here. So that's what you have. That's the categorical and numeric attributes that you have. Now, what we want to do is that we want to see the sum. To answer that first question, we want to see the sum of sales. So I just pick sales, I drag it right to the column there. And we also want to see the subcategory. So I'm going to go to subcategory and I'm going to put it right here. So we can see that this is on automatic. Okay, this is where you get to decide the colors, sizes of your measures and dimensions. So this on automatic, you can put it for yourself or bar chart if you want. So on automatic, we have it right there. So now the next thing that we want to do, okay, is that we want to try, because we want to see the sales and we want to see it with respect to the profit. So I probably just want to pick the profits. That's the sum of the profits, just like that. It's already, because it's aggregated already, so it will do sum. So, and put it, you know, in the column. So that has that kind of interface that we are looking right there. And just so that we know what these values are without having to put our mouse. So I'm going to drop the profits, because it's a profit that is giving us this change of color. So I'm going to drop the profit to the label, and then we can see what exactly is happening with the profit. So if you check the bar that we have here that is trying to, I hope this is not covering it. So if you check the bar that we have here that is trying to tell us what the profit looks like, we will see that, you know, for tables, we are having like a negative profit, a little bit of negative profit for bookcases, and so on. So in Tableau, you can easily just do like this to sort them probably in descending order. So the graph looks like that. So this is one of the sheets that has answered the first question. We will look at the second question, and I will title that sheet. And I'm doing this because we're going to use a dashboard at the end, and I want those titles to reflect in the dashboard. So I'm going to title this one Sales, Profits 2015, 2017. Okay, and I did that because the second question that we are trying to explore is how does sales compare with profits from 2014 to 2015. So they want to see the sales that we are making, good, but is it really translating to profit? So to do that, I would, on this sheet, I'm just going to drag down the months, that's the order date, because order date tells us, you know, what is happening, okay, how the sales is going. So I'll drag down the order dates to the column. I probably want to pick months instead, so that it will be a little bit, we can see it monthly. You can do the year too if you want. Okay, maybe I should just do the year first, and then we can do the month. Okay. So I just tracked the order date from here to here. And then the next thing I want to check is the sum of profit, sum of sales. So let's do the sales first. We have the sales right here, and then we have the profit right there. So this gives from 2014 to 2015. If you want to make it, want to look at it, you know, vis-a-vis months, we can do something like this. So that gives us, sorry, that's not the month I'm looking for. I want to break it down. Yeah. So this is the one I'm actually looking for, so that we can see each month in each year, and we can see what exactly is going on. Okay, so for the next question, I'm going to look at, I'm going to title the sheet first. Let me title the sheet. I'm going to title it State Profits. Okay, so what's the question saying? The question is saying which states are making high profits and which states are making a loss. So to make it more that we can relate with it better, since we're talking of states, so we are going to use the geographical map instead. So to do that, I'm just going to go to the longitude that has been generated automatically for us, and I'm going to drag it there. And then for the latitude, I'm going to drag it right there. So by doing that, we will see that our map is coming up. So I'm going to pick the longitude, drop it in the column, and then the latitude, I'm going to drop it on the rows. So if I double click on the state, I'll be able to get the map of Nigeria. If, for example, you have some unknowns at this stage, because this data has already been cleaned, okay, so that's why it's just giving you, the map straight. So because we have the states of Nigeria there, but if you have some unknowns, all you have to do is just to, click on it, click on the unknown and edit your location. That's if you're using another data, and edit the location, and instead of the United States, just select Nigeria and resolve whatever comes up after that. So we have our map for us right there. So the next thing that I want to do right now is that, since our question is to be able to use map to be able to tell us which states are making profit, and which states are making loss. So I'm going to grab the attributes for profits, and I'm just going to put it in the color. So we have that's right there, and we can see that this is telling us that when it's blue like this, there's a high profit, and then the greatest loss is -25, and so on and so forth. So let's also try to label this map so that it's readable and all that. So let's drag states and put it in label. I probably want to drag the profit in question and also put it in label. So that gives us something that we can relate to right there like that. So we kind of have answered the second question, and we can easily, see, even though it's not showing on the map, we can easily see the state that is giving us the greatest loss, and then we can see the one that is giving us the greatest profit. So the greatest loss is Imo, greatest profit is Lagos, and then it's properly visualized on our map like that. So let's move on to the next question. So the next question says, which states are making high profits? And to do this, we can use any tool that we like, but I just want to see if we could use about 3 different tools, like the word map, bubble chart, and tree chart. So we are still on the state issue, and then we want to see this that we have visualized like this. We want to see it using word map, bubble chart, and tree chart. So for me to do that, I'll create another sheet, and I'll name it states profits, state profits, word map. All right. So the very first thing for me to do is to make sure that right here I'm on text. All right. And being on text, I'll just grab the states from here and drop it, I'll drop it inside the text like that. So we can see that all the states have appeared, though with country, we'll deal with that later. So the states have appeared. The next thing that I want to do is that, since I'm thinking of word map and I'm trying to use profit, so I want the states that have the greatest profit to be bigger, and then the one that has small profit to be smaller, or loss to be smaller, and so on and so forth. So to do that, I'm just going to drag the profit and I'm going to put it on the size. Okay, so we have that. And it's also nice if we can also use color to differentiate. So I'm going to drag the profit and put it on the color too. So we have something like this, but I don't want Nigeria to be there. so that it will be very clear. So I'll remove the country from there. So we have, you know, the world map. So Cross River, Lagos is the highest profit. Cross River, yeah, I think, yeah, Lagos is the highest. Cross River is following. All right, so we have our world map. So I'm just quickly going to do another sheet and do the bubble chart. So I'm going to do state bubble chart. Okay. So to do that, we are still going to be using the same approach. So this time around for the automatic, you can actually pick most of this from this, but this gives you more flexibility. So I'm going to pick the circle this time around, and I'm still going to pick the states. Yeah. So I'm going to pick the states and drop it in the text, just like I did earlier. And I'm going to pick the state and also put it in the color. Okay, so we need sizes for this. So to do that, I'll just drop the profit in question in size. So we have the bubble chart. I'll quickly go to the 3. Our time is fast going. I'll quickly go to the 3 states, 3 map. Okay. So to do that, I'm just going to pick the square, follow the same procedure, drop my state in the label, drop the profit in the size, and drop the states in the color. So we have the tree map right there. So I still need another sheet to answer the final question, which is more like a complex query actually. So, but it still helps us to see what is going on with profit. And this time around, we just want to zero in on probably a particular subcategory of products. So we say for that's category of products, sorry. So we say for the category furniture, in which the ship mode is mainly standard class, what's the total profits made and the total sales made? Okay, so in other words, we want to look at the total sales, total profit for a particular category, which is furniture and ship mode. There are several ways of going about it, but I'll just pick one. And for this, I'll title the sheet total sales, let me just say sales, profit, category, and ship mode. So you can explore for other types of categories too. Okay, yeah, categorical attributes, sorry too. So we have that as the title of that particular one. So to do that, all I'm simply going to do, I want to look at the sum of products, sum of sales. So I'll drag the sales, I drag the sum of sales to this axis, and then drag the sum of products to this axis. Don't forget your analysis, this has to be, selected. So we have that right there. So the next thing that I want to do, because the question is trying to investigate, for the category furniture and then the ship mode also. So let's look at the category attribute. So I'm going to carry the category attribute, from wherever it is, and I'm going to drop it inside the size, for example, size. And I'm going to, let's do the ship mode for color. Okay, so we can see that it has splitted. But for us to be able to actually see the details, let's label using our label button right there. So I'm just going to drop all of them. That's the sales, the sales. I'm going to drop the sales into the label. I'm going to drop the profit into the label. I'm going to drop the category itself into the label, and I'm going to drop ship mode into the label. So labeling it like this, we can see for the furniture category, which is set out to find out, and for this furniture category, for the ship mode, okay, which is standard class, is right here. And then we have, we have an idea of what exactly is the total profit and total sales right here. So quickly, before we come to, we end the short training, I'd like us to see whatever we have done in form of a dashboard by just clicking on the dashboard right here. So doing that, we have this dashboard. I want it to be a little bit bigger so that it can accommodate all that we want to visualize. So a dashboard is a way to tell the complete story of all the analytics that you have been doing, since. So I just want to increase this. Okay, I think this should be all right. And so we have it like that. So all the sheets that we have, immediately you click on your dashboard, all the sheets that we have created comes, right here. So you can select the one that you actually want to use to tell your story. So in doing that, I'm just going to select this first one and put it here. I'll select the second one. Let's put it below. I want it here. Okay, so let's pick just the map. That's the Nigerian map one. All of them cannot take this side. So I'll just pick, and I'll pick probably a fourth one. That's the one that we zero down on a particular category. I prefer that to be right somewhere here. Okay, I don't want it like this. Yes, I want it to be somewhere here. Will it work like that? Okay, I think this is fairly okay, except for the fact that it has squashed this one, but we can manage it. So we have our dashboard, okay, and using this dash, as in looking at everything all together at once, okay, we can be able to infer some things. For example, the subcategory making the highest profit, okay, is phones. We can see that right here. And then even though subcategory tables is not doing bad when it comes to sales, we can see tables is not doing bad when it comes to sales, but it also has quite high loss. So for example, if it's a descriptive analytics that we want to, come up with some questions to explore in our diagnosis analytics, that is one question to find out. So there's need to investigate why this is so. Then another thing that we can also see, that the state that has the highest loss, for example, is the Imo state right here. And then we can also see the trend, okay, for sales and profit. So as sales, we can see that the trend, not like they're the same, but they're kind of similar. So we can see that almost the same thing. So as we are making sales, we are also making profits. So there is particularly no cause for alarm. For example, if you see a trend that as you are making sales, for example, as it's the trend that is like this, and then the profit is declining or something, that's when you need to like worry. That's what exactly is going on. And then zeroing down on the sales, profits, and ship mode category, that we can actually probably just click on, let's see, if we click on standard class, for example, you can see that every other one is not highlighted, but this particular one is highlighted. So anything that has to do with standard class is highlighted. So we can properly zero in on our final question that we're asking, that if the category is furniture and is a standard class ship mode, what will be the total sales, which is 435,831, and then the total profit 10,361. So that is where we will be, concluding this short training. I'll quickly do a new share and conclude. Yeah. So these are some of the references that you might want to grab. There's so many, out there but that is related to what we talked about. So you might want to grab these texts that are available online and learn more about these chats. Yeah, these chats. Thank you very much. We hope that in the next part, we'll be able to look at another kind of problem scenario, probably this time around in the predictive analytics section, you know, not the descriptive, just like we looked at. Thank you very much. It has been very great, spending some time with you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Ibukun. This has been an amazing session. We've had this and totally blown away. And I am sure everyone that's joined this session today can say the same. Can we just show our appreciation on the live chat? Just say thank you, show your excitement. It has been awesome. Thank you so much for sharing from your wealth of knowledge with the entire community. We sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much. For everyone on this call, the learning has not stopped. Learning continues, people. So you can join AI every day, which is ongoing. We've had the first live session and there's still more to come. So here's the link. It's been dropped on the live chat as well. Also, the DSN Learning Calendar. You can begin to register ahead for all our planned learning programs. You do not want to miss any. This is the link. You can take a screenshot. It's being shared on the live chat as well. So thank you all for joining the call today. Thank you all for joining this session. You have been amazing, and we sincerely look forward to more learning and more results and more impacts from the community, from all our learning. We'll catch on in the next session. Thank you all, and do enjoy the rest of your day and week. Cheers.